What's going on, Hustle for Luxury? Today we get to tap into the regimen of WFA Bikini Pro. We're currently in Santa Ana at her private gym, so it's an honor to be here today with Ashley. As you guys can tell, legs is not my strongest point, so hopefully I can learn something today, and I'm excited to get this working. Like I said, it's an honor to be here today with her, and yeah, let's get it. Before we start, I'm gonna let her introduce herself and kind of give you a little bit background on her story. Super motivational, and yeah, that's me.
All right, thank you so much for coming. We are here today at my private gym that also has personal training. It is called One More Rep in Santa Ana. This is a great spot. It's become my home very quickly. It is a newer establishment as well. They did move location, so I'm super happy they came close to me. And I've been able to come here and meet some phenomenal people. Like he was saying, I am the WFA Bikini Pro for the year of 2022. Looking at me, I don't think you'd be like, that girl was ever not fit. This is not genetics. This is lots of hard work, time, consistency. And I've only been doing this for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. So for me, my story started in June 2020 where I was 210 pounds.
Okay.
So I started at a transformation camp. I lost about like 50 pounds or so through them in Anaheim. That was life-changing as well. But as we grow through our journey, sometimes we grow out of places. And so I grew into competing. Right. My coach is Jenny Davis. She's absolutely phenomenal. Buns and guns are her thing. So hopefully we can get some guns, and these guns look good. Yeah. But you know, we can get some legs and some glutes on you a little bit today. I'm hoping that we can get in some Sumo Deadlifts. We can also maybe do some ham curls. I'm thinking some leg press. Get you really fired up on that rear side. Okay. So let's go.
Let's go. Right now, Ashley's gonna take us through her little warm-up routine, you know. This is her friend Ariel. She came along to tag along. We're gonna kill our legs. So yeah, what are we doing, Ashley?
All right, so we're gonna warm up. For me, something that's very important, because I sit at a desk all day. You know, so my glutes tend to be asleep or tight. You know, whatever way you wanna look at it, is like I'm not always fully activating those glutes without warming them up first.
Okay.
And something for me that's important is movement. So what I noticed for myself, at least, moving them glutes, doing like some squats, or we can do like some monsters, which are just basically over-exaggerated lunges that are a little funny looking, but they definitely do the work. Okay. So
let's do it. Let's do it.
Use the band, and then I'm gonna get you in a band too, because we gotta get you, we gotta get you warmed up as well. So I'll just give you a little demonstration, and then you can follow along. Okay. So, bands are great. You don't want to only rely on the bands, simply because when those motions come in, like it's good for new beginners, especially with squats, but because your legs can tend to go inwards when you're trying to learn how to do squats. And I'm not sure how many squats you do.
Not a lot. You know, my legs.
So this could really help you when you're trying to do some squats. So basically what you're going to do, you're just going to go down to your squat position. Okay. For me, someone with larger femurs, like my knees tend to go a little bit further in front of my feet. Okay. It's totally okay. The whole thing about how your knees can't go above your feet isn't actually accurate. I have a longer torso and pretty long femurs, so my body is going to be different than hers. She's more compacted, a little bit longer femurs, but her upper torso is a little smaller. Just like you're a little lengthy as well, but your femurs don't seem to be as long. So you may not have the same problems I do. So it might just look a little different. So for me, we're going to just squat into it, all the way down. Then we're going to do those over-exaggerated lunges, or monsters as they're called. Okay. So just bend down, get it down. I like to put my hands together. It tends to help me to keep more balanced. But I'm really working my glutes, my hamstrings, and my quads all at the same time. Okay. All right, now it's your turn.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
You know, these are monsters, squats, maybe some leg lifts, jumping jacks. To get my heart flowing, heart blood pumping. There you go. Good, that's great. Nice deep squats. See, you do squats. You do a little leg.
Yeah, I'm not completely a rookie.
Great job. All right, so now we're gonna do one of my favorites. It's a sumo deadlift. I choose sumo over the regular variation of deadlifts because it tends to hit my hamstrings a little bit harder. Okay. Obviously my glutes are gonna get worked. And compared to the regular deadlift, that hip hinge is just easier for me to get in that squat position versus like when we're hitting our deadlift like this. I just feel more tension is pulled in my areas that I need the most work on. And being a bikini competitor, like I said before, it's all about the glutes, the hamstrings, the ham tie. So it's really working that lower body, which we're gonna work you right now.
Let's do it.
All right, you ready? So you want to make sure you set yourself up with proper form. I cannot ever stress enough when you do an exercise about having proper form. And for this, we're going to make sure our core is nice and tight. We're not going to go all the way down for like a regular squat. Your butt should not be down. Okay, so we want to make sure your ass, your butt, we want to make sure that your butt is nice and up in the air still. So I'm just going to briefly show you what I mean by that without picking up the bar though. So say I'm going to do my exercise, so my butt, you see it's still nice and in the air. Yes, it's facing a wall, thank goodness. But
you're kind of hinging at the hip.
Yeah, I'm kind of hinging at the hips. But if you also look at my back, it's also my neck is nice and in line and straight. So you want to keep a natural neck and a nice spine. We also want to make sure when we grab the bar, we're going to follow our shins up and squeeze. Real simple motion. So we don't got much weight on here because we're trying to keep it light for you. We're not sure what you're up to yet, but you know. All right, so for me, I'm gonna do a reverse underhand grip because it's easier. I don't have the gloves on. I can tend to get a little more traction. Normally I do use gloves just because I want to try and keep my hands nice. And then I also tend to use sometimes straps when I'm going really heavy. I just want to protect my wrists and make sure that my body doesn't get hurt, because if it gets hurt, I go down and I can't work out. Hand placement can be very important. When we're doing the sumo, if it's not super heavy, if you can still go overhand grip, it's great, right? For me, I don't do too much underhand grip. It is possible. There are so many different ways to do exercises. It's mind-blowing. But for me, just being able to hold it evenly, I'm able to get a better reach. I'm able to get a better hold of the bar when I do underhand and then over. So for me, this is the way I usually go when I don't have gloves. When I do have my gloves, I keep it this way, which also keeps the weight more evenly distributed on my arms. So if you're doing it this way, that's great. But make sure you're flipping, because you don't want to always carry the weight on one arm. This is going to be your more dominant, whatever's on top. Simply place my hands, watching my back, bracing my core. My hips are still high in the air. We're gonna follow up against my legs and snap into place. I wanna make sure my knees aren't snapping though. That wasn't probably the right words to use, but make sure my body's just still parallel, nice and up. This isn't too heavy. I'm not leaning, falling, going, feels good. Down, follow my legs and my shins, drop the weight. Simple, right?
Cool.
Up, down, up, down. Simple. Feet are also falling over. Feet are also slightly tilted out. So simple. Sumo. No sumo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Got it? Good. Yeah, there you go. Good job. Core is nice and tight. Look at that straight spine, neutral neck.
Ooh.
I think you've done this before.
I feel like a pro already.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to the leg press. So, like I said, for bikini models, so we're gonna get you in shape for the bikini competition you're gonna be going into. And we have my friend Ariel here, who's also gonna demonstrate it for us. She is a future bikini competitor model, our bikini competitor. She also works with my coach, so we are like coach sisters. So she's gonna actually go ahead and demonstrate for us a high foot placement on the leg press. And what that's gonna do is gonna tend to target the glutes and hamstrings. We got a pretty lightweight on here. She's a very strong lower body. So she's gonna release that leg press and just go down till it's comfortable. If you really look on her, she's making sure her glutes are still on that pad. That's very important. You don't wanna go too heavy, and you don't wanna have the weight push your body off. You wanna make sure that your back is still against that mat, because you don't wanna arch too much and cause any pain. You should never have pain when doing an exercise. There's a difference between, some discomfort. Obviously you wanna feel the burn, but you never wanna have pain. If it hurts, stop. Simple. If you need help, always holler for help. Luckily, I've personally never had to bail out of an exercise, but I see all the videos and things. So always having a good workout partner is also very good.
Definitely.
And Ariel and I love to get in good workouts.
Definitely.
All right, so we're gonna do that high foot placement. There you go. Neutral stance. I like to keep it just between in there. We'll point it out just a smidge.
Okay.
There you go. Now we're gonna work them glutes and hams. Let's go. Make sure you're, yeah, there you go. A little bit slower on the up. There you go. Feel it really contract. How's that feel?
Good, my legs on.
Glutes on fire?
Yeah.
There you go. Let's not go down as deep.
Okay.
Stop about right there. We're really focusing on those glutes and hamstrings.
Okay.
And also the leg press is great too, for you can do calf raises on it as well when you have it in the locked position. So it can be a dual purpose machine. Perfect, there you go, great job. You want to keep them as neutral as you can, but just like with a squat, they're going to tend to go outwards. You don't want them to be going inwards. You never want to have your knees cave in.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure even, yes, exactly. Knees caving in means no go.
Yeah.
So if you start to see that gap in the middle of your legs closing in, let's just go back and put that weight back. Maybe it's a little too heavy. Maybe we need to go down a little bit, or maybe we just need to focus on the form. And something that's really good for me in taking it back and just trying to make sure that I hit the form and I'm hitting the muscles I'm supposed to be for exercises, just lowering that weight. It's simple, it sounds bad, you know, we all want to lift a heavy weight and be all like muscular and beastly, you know, like we awesomely are. But at the same time, we want to make sure we're safe. And if your knees are starting to buckle inwards, that definitely means there's something wrong and off with your form. So just take it down on the weight, or just slow down the motion and make sure you're really feeling what you're trying to do. And like I said, we're trying to work those hamstrings and those glutes right now. So if you're not feeling it in those regions, maybe we need to either warm up a little bit more, take down the weight, do whatever we need to do to kind of get it a little bit safer and better going on in the future. All right, so now Ariel and I are gonna demonstrate RDLs with dumbbells.
Right.
Which is a great exercise, another compound movement. Very simple, but yet can be very difficult for those who just aren't aware of their form or how they're really working it. Ariel's got a really good explanation on how to do an RDL. You wanna take it over?
Alrighty, so we're gonna start out with 2 dumbbells. Feet are going to be shoulder width distance apart. You can have a slight outward turn of your toes. Make sure that your knees are going to be, there's going to be a little slight bend in the knee. We're going to pick them up just like Ashley has done. And slowly hinging at the hips with a proud chest. The shoulders are down and back. And you slowly hinge at the hips and leaning forward, slide bend in the knee, dropping just below the knee where you feel a slight pull in the hamstring, and then you switch on and pull up back to a standing position. Make sure when you do, your hips are pushed completely forward and you're squeezing your glutes at the top. So just as Ashley's doing, you're bringing the hips back, hinging back, and then slowly coming forward. It's like a string, just pulling the glutes back and coming back with a slight bend in the knee. Neutral spine, you see how her spine is completely neutral. Her head is looking down and her gaze is moving with her movement. She's not fixed. She's constantly in a motion up and down.
Definitely a challenge.
Right?
Definitely feel it in the hamstrings after we just did that.
I know. It is a really good workout.
Oh my goodness. Your form corrections on that were really good too. Thank you for that.
Yes, form is super important because it keeps you from hurting yourself. Also, yeah, and you don't want to get hurt. If you were caving your knees in, not only are you not using your glutes to keep your knees out, but you can hurt your knee joints because they always need to be moving in the directions of the toe. The knee is a hinge joint. It should only be going in one direction. And as long as it's in alignment with the toes, it's going to be going in the right direction. The hip is a larger joint. It can rotate. So it's a little more, range of motion. It's a lot different than the knee.
All right, and then to finish out this workout, we're gonna throw in some squats. For me, my favorite variation of squats is gonna be with the dumbbell. I feel for me, doing that in a sumo stance is really great because it's able to hit my quads a little bit, where we're still working on my glutes. I'm able to get a little bit more activation, and then I'm just reworking some of the stuff I've already done, but just in one motion to finish it out. Okay. So we're just gonna take the dumbbells. And this is also easy too because most you can get dumbbells at your stores or whatever. You're maybe not gonna get a barbell at home, you know? So we're gonna do the sumo stance, perfect. Hold our weight, drop down, butt to the ground. There we go, come back up, and we're gonna squeeze. And you're gonna, when you come back up from that top, to that top place, where you're gonna kind of squeeze with your externally rotated, and then we're gonna squeeze our glutes. So we're gonna work up everything, down and up, perfect. Make sure you squeeze at the top, and we're gonna make sure we're not snapping our knees. But it's like she was saying before, is definitely, you wanna be kind to your body. You wanna make sure you're not doing anything that's abnormal, just that hinging effect. We're keeping a nice hinge in our hips, nice hinge in our knees. We're not causing any harm. We're just working the muscles. How's that feel?
Great.
We're working on them glutes so you can get that leg press higher. Perfect, you guys are great.
All right, Mr. Legend, so keep in mind that we kind of just came in here and we did one set of everything, 2 sets of everything I meant. And they're actually working out and going through the routine. Their sets and reps are completely different. So I'm gonna kind of let them tell you what they do on the normal days.
Yeah, so for me, I have the protocol of doing my sets. I do 4 sets. So I do 3 sets of 10 at a high weight. And then my last set is gonna be at a lower weight for 30. So for someone like me, I'm trying to really build my glutes. So I'm trying to force like tearing in my muscles and real true growth, which is helped by an enhancement of doing that 30 set at the end.
That muscle.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really exhausting my muscle, causing it a lot of blood flow, a little bit of trauma, but at the same time, just progressively overloading it as well. And in her case, hers is a little bit different because she's got we'll just say glutes to die for.
Oh my gosh. Well, mine is a little different. I was doing something similar to hers, and our coach actually told me that she doesn't want my muscles to get comfortable with doing the same sets, reps all the time. So she switched it up to 4 sets, 15 reps each time to failure. I go as heavy as I can. I do a little warm up before at a lighter weight just to get the blood in there, and then I will just do my 15 sets, and it goes for all of my exercises for that day. So I think.
Yeah, so mind you guys, they just showed me 1 set of their workout. The intensity was kind of light today, but she's doing 4 sets of 15 reps. That's a lot of sets, and that's a lot of reps of each workout. So they really exhaust their muscles. Yeah, man, Hustle for Luxury, dude. Another great collaboration video with a great gym mind. You don't know how much I learned today. You don't know how just dope Ashley is, and she's a savage. I tapped in, I came to her gym in Santa Ana. She took me through a regimen, and you know, my legs are dead. I kind of want to leave y'all today with a little bit of just background information on Ashley. Like I said, her journey's just been great. I got some questions that I want to ask her, and again, I want to say thank you to you. It's been an honor, and yeah, we killed our legs today, so